And driving badly could soon get you all over the internet. Shaming bad drivers on websites is the latest tool in the cyclist army, thanks to the growing popularity of a helmet-mounted camera. As you've already heard with Sarah in the news today, one lady who's been using one of these cameras is Sue Archer. Morning, Sue.
Good morning.
Hello. Tell me about these cameras. You've got one here. I can see it right here. It's right on the top of the helmet. Let me describe, because this is radio. So it's right on the top of the helmet. It just clips on there. I guess it's like 4 inches long. It's very light. How long have you been using it?
Oh, I've had that probably 6 months or so now. I initially got it partly as fun. I love gadgets, and I like going out with friends on bike rides, and it seemed like a good way to record some of the rides that we did. But a lot of the people that I know through cycling were using them to record their day-to-day commutes, just in order to pick up any instances of dangerous driving. With
the thought of doing what with it? Maybe using it in a prosecution, or?
Possibly. I don't know that it's ever actually been used as evidence in a prosecution. I don't know of anyone who's got to that position. That obviously might be a useful point, because often incidents happen and there are no witnesses, and it's the word of the cyclist against the word of the driver and so on. But also because there's a sort of educational side to it. You can make these films, you can put them up on sites like YouTube and so on, and you can highlight just what it is that some drivers are doing wrong, because I think a lot of them don't realise quite how intimidating they can be.
What is the main thing drivers are doing wrong, do you think?
I think one of the most annoying things is people passing too close. The highway code says that you should give the space that you would give a small car, and that very rarely happens. I mean, when you're overtaking a cyclist, you should treat them as a car. You should pass over to the other lane. And frequently people come by with 6 inches to spare. Or people come by, and I haven't, but I know of people who've been hit by wing mirrors. Now that's patently too close. And when you take into account the fact that a cyclist only has 2 wheels, they have to avoid manhole covers, they can get blown off course by a sudden gust of wind. There are all sorts of things that they might have to avoid suddenly. And a few inches is just not enough space for safety. Now
then, just to even things up here, I presume you're also going to be videoing all the cyclists that I routinely see going through red lights, mounting pavements.
How did I know you were going to say?
Well, it's
yes,
true though,
yes,
isn't it?
Absolutely, and people who do that are breaking the law, and they're stupid, and if I'll catch them doing it, I'll put video up of them as well. I don't do those things, and I don't feel I should be responsible for people who do, and, to sort of, for people to think, or say, oh, well, all cyclists ride like that, and therefore we don't have to bother about them, is extremely unfair on those of us who take a great deal of trouble to be, law-abiding and courteous. And I can assure you, if I catch up with someone I've seen jump a red light, I will have a go at them.
Okay.
So I'm, trying to do my bit.
Good. Well, just wait there a second, Sue, because Robin Parker is from the company that makes these cameras, and he's with us now. Hello, Robin.
Good morning to you.
Nice to talk to you. So originally these cameras were meant for a bit of fun, I suppose, for sports enthusiasts.
Yes, exactly. I mean, the whole thing took off with, I guess, the advent of YouTube. I mean, the products stem from the CCTV industry, and I guess over time the products have been adopted by more extreme sports users, and obviously your coverage today is about the commuting to and from work.
And presumably, although it's not good news for cyclists that they have to use those, it's good news for business for you that they're using them for this.
It is. Well, I mean, the flip side is also we're selling to motorists and motorcyclists as well as cyclists. So it's each different party is trying to capture some video of some incriminating video of themselves being cut up, or and allowing them to use that footage if it ever came to a situation of it's one person's word against another person's word.
Yeah, and Robin, the camera that Sue's got here today, as I say, it's very light. It straps onto the top of her helmet there, and it's about 4 inches. Are they continually going to get smaller and lighter and easier to use?
Yes, they are, and they're also going to come down in price as well.
All right. Well, thank you very much indeed. Nice to speak to you today. Robin, how much did that camera cost you, by the way? So I haven't asked that.
Well, I got the camera and the larger memory card to put in it. It was all just under £90.
Oh, right.
And that was several months ago, as I say, and I would imagine that it's probably cheaper by now.
And the quality that comes out is very good?
It's obviously not up to TV quality, and it's probably not quite up to, some people's camcorder quality, but it's perfectly good enough to, say, pick out a car registration number.
All right. Now, do you think, just very briefly, that cyclists... The thing about cyclists is that there are people like you who take it very seriously, and, you want to get from one point to another very safely, and there are others that we mentioned that flout the law and flout the highway code and whatever. But you're out on main roads on bicycles, and anyone can do it. You don't have to pass any test or anything. Do you think there should be a mandatory test brought in?
I don't know about a mandatory test. Yes, I would like it if more cyclists had more training. It is the case that people can just buy a bike very cheaply from a garage, and it's not necessarily even a very good quality bike. They put it together themselves. The brakes might not work very well, and they can just get on and ride. And that's just part of the sort of freedom of the country. But I would like to see more training. I'd like to see more awareness that there are right ways and wrong ways of going about things. I think there's a lot of ignorance on a lot of people's parts as to the laws.
And similarly, I presume you'd like to see the drivers have more training on what to do when there is a bicycle on the road.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the grand ideal would be that to pass your driving test, you have to do an hour on a bike and some time on a motorbike just to get a real feel of what the road users' needs are like.
Well, interesting idea. Well, thank you very much indeed for coming in. It's been very interesting to talk to you. That is Sue Archer there. We also heard from Robin Parker.